Hello and welcome to the solution video for practical 4. Okay. I'm gonna fast forward through certain sections like the design phase and everything. Okay, let's begin. So what do we have to do today? Okay, this worker's in town, but they don't have a system to handle the ticket sales, and we get told the following information. Children below the age of 3 aren't allowed in. People older than 3 but younger than 65, older than or people 3 or older, so it's equal to or greater than 3. They get charged $50, and older than 65 they get charged $30. There's only 5 seats left for the show. Okay, so here's a summary of all of that. Okay. We know what the purpose of the program is. We need to determine what input is required, so the age, and how best to get that input. I'm going to use a numeric up down. So let's begin. New project. We'll call it 154 prac 04 ex 01 solution. Okay, everything else is right. Okay, so we need to get input. What are we going to get? We're going to get the age. I'm going to use a numeric up down to get the user's age. You can also use something like, a text box. That will work as well. But yeah, I'm just going to use a numeric up down. Put it over there. We're also going to need to do some processing. So like an attempt to buy the ticket. This is going to happen in a buttons click event handler. Like such. We're going to need a label just so that we know what we're supposed to input over here. And that's it for now. Let's continue reading. But processing must be done, so we've got that. What output should be presented? A message box. Okay, make a form, organize it, and here's a flowchart. Okay, so we also want to display how many tickets are available. Just so that, like it says here at the beginning, you can't overbook the show. So we want to also ensure that the user can see how many tickets are or aren't available. So to do that, I'm going to use just a simple label and a text box. I'm going to make this text box enabled is equal to false. Okay, so I'm going to make this equal to false so the user can't change it, and it's going to start off with the value of 5. So that's going to be how many tickets are left. Okay, we're going to tickets left. Quickly name everything. Okay, so the design phase is finished. So now we can move on to the programming. We need to ensure that the program, once the buy ticket button is clicked, checks what the user's age is and checks if there's tickets available and charges them a certain amount and reduces tickets by 1. So the first check we're doing is over here, and the one way it can go is to another decision, and the other way it can go is no more tickets available. So the first thing we're looking at is if there are tickets available. Okay, but before we can do this, we need to declare variables, assign variables, determine if tickets are available. Yeah, okay, there you go, got it. Okay, so what variables do we need to declare? We're going to have an int for age and tickets and that is about it that I can tell for now. So age we're going to assign to equal to nud age dot value, no value. And this is a int type, and this is a decimal type. So we're going to need to convert this to an int. Int 16 is fine. Oh yeah, and then we also need to get tickets available is equal to the text. Did I not rename that? I did not. Txt tickets. Did I rename everything else? Yeah, it looks like it. Okay, so txt tickets.text. Again, this is an int and that's a string, so we need to convert dot to an int. Perfect. So we've declared our variables and we've assigned the variables. Now we need to determine if tickets are available. So tickets are available when they are greater than 0. So if tickets available is greater than 0, then tickets can be bought, check age. If they are not, if they are less than or equal to 0, there are no tickets available, so we need to tell the user show that there are no tickets left. Okay, so we've got our variables, we've assigned them values, and we have checked if there are tickets available. So we have gone up to this step and completed this step. So we've done step 2 entirely, and we've begun step 1. But now we come to another decision. And this decision checks for age. So another if statement. And I can see it has 3 branches here. So I'm going to go else if, and else. So this for each one of these branches, and one for in case they didn't put a value or something like that. So first thing we want to check is if they are too young. So if age is less than 3, then we need to display a message box that says sorry, too young or something. What does it say? Too young. This should be the message. Too young. Okay, else if the age is greater than or equal to, what is it, 3? And because it's between the ages of, so it's greater than 3 and age is less than 65, so they're between the age of 3 or the age of 3 exactly and less than 65, then we're going to charge them a certain amount. What are we going to charge them? I think it's like, please pay rand 50. Okay, then the next condition, it's if age is greater than or equal to 65. Okay, so now we got our 3 conditions, and then lastly is we're just gonna have an error message saying an error occurred. This will happen like if you don't have any value for age because they didn't put a value in the NUD or something like that. It's just safety catch basically, you don't have to have it. Okay, so now we check there if there's tickets available. If there are tickets available, we're checking if they are old enough. If they are old enough, we need to reduce the number of tickets by 1 because they've bought a ticket, so it means we're down 1 ticket. So, tickets available, tickets ever needs to equal to how many tickets there are currently minus 1 because he's just purchased 1 or she. Same thing happens over here. Tickets available is equal to tickets available minus 1. Another way you can write this is tickets ever minus minus. And these 2 lines of code right here, this one and this one, do exactly the same thing. This one's just a bit shorter. So now we've reduced the number of tickets, but we need to remember to update this so that it outputs whatever the current amount of tickets available is. So right here at the end of all these if statements, we're going to go txt tickets dot text is equal to tickets ava dot toString. Done. And now the program should work. Let's go test it. Okay, so say a 2-year-old comes, he gets told he's too young and doesn't get a ticket. If a 5-year-old comes, he's got to pay $50 and tickets gets reduced by 1. The 68-year-old, he only has to pay 30 and tickets goes down to 3. And if the show is sold out, it says there are no tickets left and cannot do anything more. So yeah, that's it for practical for exercise 1. Just a couple of things to remember. This is called a nested if statement. So this is our first if statement, and inside that we've got another if statement to check a second criteria. So first we check for tickets. If there are tickets available, we then check for age. So you'll notice we don't check for age if there aren't any tickets available, because there's no need. We don't need to bother checking, because no matter what their age is, we cannot sell them a ticket because we don't have tickets left. And that's about it. Yeah, so now we can move over to, what is it? 154 prac 04 EX02 this time, solution. Windows Form, that's alright. Okay, so what are we doing here? So write a program that does the following. Gets 2 separate numbers provided by the user, so 2 numbers. The third value is assigned to a text box property during design time. It remains the same throughout the program. Consider it a default number. You can choose any number as the default number. Okay, so a couple of things. I've seen we already need 2 input for a number and a second one to display in a text box that cannot be changed at a later stage. Okay. The user selects what to do with the 2 numbers. Okay, so they can only select from a limited number of options, meaning I'm going to use a combo box for that. And same for these 3 options. So I'm thinking 2 text boxes that can be edited, 2 combo boxes which you can pick, and 1 text box which cannot be edited. And then they need to click a button, so there needs to be a button as well. So I'm going to go ahead and create my form, and I'm going to fast forward this. Okay, I have my design laid out. Now I just need to name everything correctly and put the text properties of everything that need text properties correctly. Okay, so my design is done. There's just one more thing I've got to do, and that would be to populate these combo boxes, but otherwise everything else is looking good. So to populate a combo box, you select it, you find the property items, click on it, click these 3 dots, and you add the items you want, each on a new line. Same goes for this one, which will be equal to, less than, greater than, and now we should be able to start coding. Everything should be done. Yeah, that works and that works. So you need to remember to not have white spaces, so like an empty space bar like this over here, because if you want to search exactly if it has that text, it won't be exact because of that white space. That's just something you want to remember. I'm gonna, as an example, leave a white space on each of these, and then we'll see later on what error it occurs. Okay, so now we can go to the buttons code area, the click event handler, and begin coding. So it says here that we need these following areas. Okay, so we need to declare our variables, then we need to assign, then we got, what is this one, do something, and this one. Okay, so what variables will we need? So we need to get each of the users' inputs, these 4. We need to get the answer of this sum, so that would be a 5th one, and we want to maybe store the default values, that would be a 6th one. So variable types, I'm going to use the double just in case they select divide over here. We want to give them a point answer. So num1 for their first number, num2 for the second number, user answer for the actual answer between these three, and we'll call it default answer. You'll notice when I type in default, it goes blue and it won't allow you to call it that. So that's because the word default has already been stored somewhere else in the Visual Studio's program to mean something else. So you cannot call it something, call it a keyword that already exists, just the same way that I can't call my double a double because the word double means something already. Oh yeah. So what else did we need? We needed the other two inputs that they chose. So what type of data would this be? It could either be a char because they're individual characters, either a plus, times, minus, blah blah blah, or it could be a string. I'm gonna go with string because it's more commonly known by you guys, so it would just be easier to understand. So we got string operator. Again, the word operator already exists within Visual Studios. It's turned blue, so I can't call it that, so I'm going to call it S operator. And then symbol. Okay, so now I think I have all the required variables created. Now we need to assign them values. Okay, so num1 is going to be equal to nud. Did I rename my nuds? Oh, I made them text boxes. Okay, so txt num1.text, but that's a string, so we need to convert it to a double. Convert dot to double. There we go. Then we also got num2, which I'm doing over here. Okay, so we've assigned those two. We can't assign this one until we know what the operator in this is, so we're going to find out what the operator is now. S operator is equal to, what is it, C box operator dot text. So now we store that there, and we might as well get the symbol now, even though we're going to only need that at a later state. Is equal to C box symbol dot text. Okay, oops, there we go. Default answer we can also set now, so let's go ahead. Default answer is equal to txt default value dot text. We need to convert it to a double again. Convert dot to double. Oh yeah. So now we've assigned all the values that we can. Now we need to determine what operator was selected and assign the actual answer variable a value. Oh yeah, our actual answer is a user answer. So let's go ahead and determine what operator was selected. So how do we find out which operator they selected here? So because we've given them a combo box, there's only a limited amount of values that they can select. 4 in fact. 4 or 5 if you include none as one. So we're going to say, we'll ask rather, if the operator that they selected, S operator, is equals to a plus. So if the operator is equal to, remember it's 2 not 1, 1 assigns the value, 2 asks the question. If it is equal to a plus, do something. The reason this is in 2 inverted commas is because S operator is a string value, and you can only question things of like data types. So you can't say if this is equal to as a string. You can't say if it is equal to 9 an int, because they're not the same data type. So we got to compare our string variable with a string data type over here. Okay, so let's just get the various possibilities over here. Else if, what if operator is, we'll say minus next. Else if plus, oh no, divide, else if times, multiply. Okay, now if the user doesn't select anything, we want a else statement over here. And then we can display a message box that says please select an operator. Please select an operator. There we go. Okay, so now we need to do stuff according to what operator they selected. So if they selected an operator, it means that our answer, or the user's answer, can be equal to the num1 plus num2. We know it's plus because over here we've determined that they've selected the plus operator. The same can be said for all of these. If the user selects the minus operator, you got to go num1 minus num2. If they selected divide, you got to go num1 divided by num2, and if they select multiply, you multiply the two numbers. Okay, so now we have figured out what the answer of the user's equation is. So the answer between these three input boxes. Now we need to determine which type of sum they want. So which one of these selected answer value things they've used. We do this in a pretty similar way to over here. We say, wait, this goes down here. Over here is good enough. So if, what do we got here? What did we call it? Symbol is equal to, let's say, a greater than sign. If the symbol is a greater than sign, then we should check if it is greater than. Else, if it is equal to a less than sign, else if it is equal to an equal sign, and else for in case they didn't pick anything. If they didn't, we're gonna display a message box saying, hey, please select a symbol. Okay, so what do we have? We have determined what the symbol is. We have determined what their value is according to their equation. Now we need to determine if their value is indeed less than or greater than, less than, or equal to, according to whichever symbol they've chosen. So we need to have another nested if statement. Inside here we're going to check if their answer, so user answer according to which operator they've used, is indeed greater than, because this is the one where it's greater than, the default answer. Oh yeah, but now, okay, so a lot of you guys will run into this issue. So it says use of unassigned local variable. So we haven't assigned this variable a number, although over here it seems like we have. It's not guaranteed that any of this code, 1, 2, 3, 4 lines of code, it's not guaranteed that any of those lines of code will run because the user may not select one of these as their operator. They could leave it blank, in which case this would run. So all we're going to do is, if they do leave it blank, we're going to set user answer to equal 0. That way it automatically equals 0, and it maybe not, maybe we'll just set it, instantiate it over here as equal to 0. Either way, we've given it a value at some point that will actually occur, so it can actually check. If you haven't given it a value over here, user answer may not ever get a value, and then you can't check if something without a value is greater than something else, because you need to note that something without a value is not the same as being equal to 0. 0 is a value, so this has a value now. Whereas when there's no equals to 0, it's just an empty placeholder. It's not holding any type of value. Okay, so this looks good now. And if it is indeed greater than, we're going to display a message box that says true or something like that. However, if it is not, we're going to say a message box that is false. And this is going to occur over here and over here. So I'm going to copy this into here and into here. But now you need to change your if statements to be checking the right thing. Oh, Can't use an individual one because that assigns it a value rather than questions it. So I'm going to use a double and everything should be fine. Oh yeah. Let's go ahead and just test it, I guess. There, so we're going to say 10 plus 7 is equal to. Okay, so now we run into an error. Oh yes, so over here earlier I left white spaces in my symbol area, and now it thinks there's no symbol selected. Why this occurs is because when we look for a symbol, we check if a symbol is exactly like this, not with a white space, because that is different to this. So over here we're looking for precisely the thing inside these inverted commas, which is just the symbol and has no white space. Same with this one and same with this one. Yet some of you accidentally, or in my case on purpose, we added a white space to the end of each of these. So this is not the exact same thing as what is questioned over here. As such, none of these things return true because, like I said, they're not the same. And it goes to the default false value, which is in the else code, and asks us to please select a symbol. So to fix this, I'm just going to quickly remove the white spaces. So now I can test by clicking once with my left arrow, and it should go to the other side of this symbol. Then I know that there are no white spaces. Now we can test it again. Let's go 10 plus 7 is equal to, and that is true. If we say is greater than, it should be false. Less than, it should be false. Greater than, less than. If we say multiply, that should be true now. If we say divided by and switch it that way, it should be true. If we leave it as equal to, it's false. And we can, I guess, run some of these. So if we go 5, 4 plus, and greater than, false, as same answer they have. And last thing is just make sure you understand these nested if statements. I know it can get quite complicated when you have a bunch of if, else, if, else, if, else, ifs. That's why we like using making you use the brackets, is because now I can see when I click on this bracket over here, it highlights its corresponding opening bracket, and I can see everything that falls under this if statement. So everything that will run if this statement is true, which is all of this code. And inside this code, I can check if this statement is true. It's going to run everything inside of these two brackets that it's highlighted, which would be this line over here. So the only way you can get to this line is if you get true for the first for this one over here, as well as true for this value over here. If you get true false, it comes over here. If you get false true true, it comes over here. False true false, it comes over here. False false true true comes over here. False false true false comes over here. And if everything is false, it just goes straight to there. I think that's about it, eh? Hope this video was helpful. Cheers, guys.